Okay, awesome. Thank you. Thank you for joining. Thank you for joining. So for those who don't know me, and those who are new to this platform, my name is Jordan Mudemba, and I'm a Celo dev evangelist and Olabasanda. And we have Charles, who is also part of the team, and Lecho. So we're gonna start before we get into the limits IDA and to coding the smart contract and the smart contract. We will have an overview of Celo, what Celo blockchain is, and why do we have Celo. So we'll have an overview what Celo is in a nutshell, and then and then we will get started to creating a smart contract. And if time will be on our side, we will do connecting the front end to the back end to a front end. Yeah, so awesome. Thank you and welcome. So people are joining, but we can get started. So Celo, the main agenda for today is Celo, the technology, the assets which are found in Celo, and Celo Alliance, and the opportunities within the Celo ecosystem. So the mission for Celo is to build a financial system that creates the condition for prosperity for everyone. And we believe that we can be able to. So we believe in order to solve one of the world's toughest problems, we need to bring some of the brightest minds together to reimagine the future of money and how we send money. And that's how Celo blockchain was born. So Celo blockchain is a fork of Ethereum. And it's a mobile first, which is on the target to have Visa scale of 1 transaction per second. So Celo mission is driven and endorsed by the World Bank. Celo is the ideal payments, and Celo transactions actually take 5 seconds to be complete, and the transaction fee or gas fee is less than $0.01. Celo is also borderless. Yeah. So why mobile first? So Celo is a mobile first blockchain. So if most people in the world, we have approximately 5 to 6 billion people who have access to mobile phone, and that's why we have Celo blockchain as a mobile first, because a lot of the transactions that happen in the world should be happening on mobile instead of desktop computing. Then Celo has unique features. So there is a phone link that allows people to be able to sell a dollar by simply clicking on a contact on the phone, like how M-Pesa work. So for those who are in Kenya, the main or the major form of payment or money transfer system is M-Pesa. And for those who have interacted with M-Pesa, they know that you only need a phone number to send cash. So Celo also has on-chain governance, which is governed by the community, and it is decentralized, so you can be able to see. So another more unique feature about Celo is that Celo is a proof of stake protocol, scalable proof of stake protocol. The blocks are built by validators, and each block takes up to or under 5 seconds to build. Then gas payment is for those who have interacted with other blockchains. Gas payment for Celo is in multiple currencies. So for other blockchains like Ethereum or Ethereum, because Ethereum is like Ethereum, you normally use Ethereum to send transactions. So if you have a token like ETH token and you want to send that token, you must have ETH in your wallet. But for Celo, if you want to send CUSD or if you want to send Celo, you can be able to use the multi-currency automatically. It will be deducted from your payment, just like the normal payments, the way we do. The cash you are sending, you use it to like, let's say you're sending US dollar, you pay the transaction fee in US dollar. But then if you want to use another currency to pay for the transaction cost or the transaction fee, you can be able to use multi-currencies in Celo. So another thing is that it has faster sync for Ultralight clients. So Celo works on even simple smartphones, simple smartphones. So to give an idea of that, we have Kanza. We have Kanza, which is a USSD application that lands on a feature phone. So normally we call feature phones here in Kenya Kabambe. So Celo can be able to learn in a very simple phone. We also have Kotani, which is also a USSD application, which lands on feature phone, which is very amazing because most blockchain don't have that capability to learn on an ultralight client or to be able to learn in on a smartphones. So then another great feature that I really like about Celo, because I'm into planting trees and such, is that Celo is carbon negative. Celo is the first carbon negative blockchain through collaboration with the One project. And there is also something which the Celo community is doing, like creating regenerative environment. So you realize that if you have read about other blockchain like Bitcoin, Ethereum, you realize that most of the people say that they cannot invest in blockchain like Bitcoin because it consumes a lot of power. It uses it produces emissions. So Celo is one of the blockchain which does not consume a lot of environment, thanks to the scalable proof of stake and like proof of work. So for those who will be joining the bootcamp, we'll be able to talk more about proof of stake and these kind of protocols. Yeah. So moving on, Celo has Celo is a blockchain wallet and a source of digital money. So we have the Celo blockchain, we have the wallet, that is the Valora wallet, which is commonly used, and then we have the CUS dollar. Yeah. Then we have onto so Celo is mobile and open, and it's Lil. So the ecosystem is growing. We have a lot of people coming into the bootcamp. So I won't be able to talk more about this, right? So I will not talk about this slide much. Yeah. So kindly. Can we move on to the asset slide? Assets slides, yeah. Yeah, so. Okay, so Celo has different assets. So we have the Celo itself. We have stable currencies. We have stable currencies. That is the CUSD and Celo Euro. And recently there has been an additional of Celo Real, which is the stable currency for Brazil. Yeah. And Celo is also a dollar or a euro on the internet, and you can send anywhere for as little as 0.001. And so these are the symbol for Celo dollar and C euro. Then we have the last one as the benefits of a stable currency or stable coin is that they are borderless. They don't have any borders, and they are able to maintain, or it's able to maintain its value. Another advantage of stablecoin is that it doesn't have volatility. So the ability of a stablecoin to maintain value, it's not volatile, unlike Ethereum or Bitcoin or Celo. So we have Celo is tradable, but the stable currencies are not tradable. So you may have, for those who hold USDT or stable coins, they may have noticed that they are not tradable. So the same case for Celo Euro and Celo Dollar, and also Celo Real. Celo is the one which is tradable. So volatility is a place whereby the coin at one point in the morning it's so up high, and then in the evening you realize that it's dropping. So there is that volatility in the tradable assets or digital currency which are tradable. But for stable coins, they don't have volatility. So then they can be used with smart contracts. So they are programmable money. So that is an overview of Celo. Then I think if there is a question, you can ask before we move on to the next agenda, that is on now creating smart contracts and what smart contracts are. Yeah. Okay, so so we have different programs in Celo that as a developer you can be able to participate. So we have hackathons. So Hazard Crypto is asking when and where will the hackathon take place. So we have local hackathons, which we are planning. We are planning for local hackathons. We have the Celo bootcamp, which is normally from, I think right now there are people who are participating for the Celo bootcamp, which starts from March, April, and then I think the winners are announced on August. And then from August there is another bootcamp that comes in. So then we have other hackathons and quests that you can be able to do on Gitcoin. So Celo has quests and hackathons on Gitcoin. They are normally announced, and then they are hosted in different platforms. So the last one, the DeFi, mobile DeFi or mobile DeFi was done on dev, I think it was Devfolio, dev post or Devfolio. Yeah. Then local hackathons, the local hackathons that Celo was part of was UNODC and UNODC. And then there is also the different ecosystem in different countries have different ways of how they organized for their hackathons. So we will be able to communicate that later so that you can be able to see and be able to contribute to the Celo ecosystem, so that you see you are able also to like innovate. Yeah. So yeah. So any other question? Hello, any other question before we move on to the
I have a question.
yes.
When you are talking about how, not sure, but you are saying something of paying via mobile phone. I do not understand what you meant by that. Like, how do you pay using, for example, in Kenya using M-Pesa? What exactly are you paying and to which blockchain?
Okay. So normally most blockchain use wallet addresses, but for Celo, the wallet addresses are linked together with the phone number. They somehow they are linked. They are linked with the phone number. So if I dial your phone number, I'll be able to send, just similarly the way we do with M-Pesa. You don't have to like memorize the entire wallet address. So the wallet address normally looks like this. If I can get one, let me get one. So it's a long string of hexadecimals. So on the chart, you can see, oh, sorry. So on the chart, you can be able to see this wallet address. So this one, when I'm sending to somebody, if I'm in the Ethereum blockchain, I'll have to copy and paste this wallet address to send them crypto. But now for Celo, the way phone numbers are linked together with the wallet address. So if you create a wallet address using Valola, and you want to send me CUSD, then you don't have to like paste this entire wallet address. You'll just have to put in or key in my phone number, and then you send me the crypto. So that's why it's similarly how M-Pesa works. So if you go back to PayPal, if you check the way PayPal works, if you're sending money to somebody using PayPal, they normally use email addresses. And I think they do use also phone number or account, but they normally use the emails. So with a phone number is easy to memorize and also easy to remember and also less likely to make mistakes. So, but the transaction, even if you send me using that phone number, the transaction in the blockchain will show the address. So the mobile number won't be public, but the wallet address will be public. So you will still stay anonymous. Yeah. So I hope I have answered your question. So there is another question from Obina. Yes,
Yeah.
Obina.
My question wasn't more of this. It is just about the slide that you were
Okay.
sharing, and you know
Yeah.
it was fast. My question was just, is there a way we can read more about that first few of minute that you slide you shared with us? It would be helpful to read more.
Okay. I'll share the recording. I'm recording, so I'll share the recording.
All right, thank you.
Okay, awesome. So I think we can go to the other part. So prepare yourself for something. I hope you are all connected on a laptop. So Just a minute.
Hi, Jordan.
Hi.
Hi, I have a question.
Yes.
So maybe I joined late, but I would like to know if we are doing this boot camp for Celo as developers for Celo or investors for Celo, or both.
It can be both. It can be both. If you're highly loaded, you can invest on one of the startups. But we are going to do the Celo blockchain fintech and Celo blockchain as developers. You will be able to learn more about blockchain, some of the tools. So I'm going to mention on the webinar some of the tools that are used and how you can be able to get to learn to be a smart contract developer, whether you want to be on the back end as a smart contract developer or a front end developer. So here we have a lot of people who are experienced. I can see Ambrose. I can see D. I can also see Sir Newton, and also Sir Dion. Yeah, can also see Dion, who is also he's a front-end developer. Yeah, so you guys will be able to learn more as learn more about being developers and how you can be able to use to build on Celo blockchain. Yeah.
Okay.
So let me share my So let me share my other screen. And yeah, so I hope you can see my screen.
Yes, we can see a screen.
Okay, awesome. Okay, so these are some of the top blockchain tools that we normally use for any EVM compatible blockchain. So EVM compatible blockchain means that it's a blockchain that uses the Ethereum virtual machine, and the main language being Solidity, and the tools are similarly to what we use on Ethereum blockchain. So remember, I said that Celo is a fork of Ethereum, and it uses proof of stake. So the tools will be similar for those who have interacted with different other blockchains. So we have the top 10. So we have Remix, we have Solidity, we have MetaMask, we have Web3, we have Truffle, we have Hardhat, we have Infula, and Ganache. So the first one that we are going to use today. So the first one we are going to do, or the first tool that we are going to interact with today is Limits. And Limits is a browser-based development environment that allows developers to write smart contracts in Solidity and Viper. So Solidity is JavaScript kind of language, and Viper is Pythonic language. So if you're familiar with JavaScript, you're good. Viper, you're also good, but I'm majorly going to focus on Solidity. So Limits fosters faster development and implementation, and it's GUI based, or that makes it great as a playground for learning and teaching Celo and Ethereum. So some of the default modules used to do is to test, debug, deploy smart contracts, and you can be able to plug in and also save your code on GitHub. So a note when working with remits is that it debugs your code as you write. So you don't have to like have a problem when you are writing your code. So you won't have a problem when you're writing your code. Yeah. Then I've mentioned about Solidity. So Solidity is a programming language used by blockchain developer. So it's one of the popular programming language used by developers. So it was actually a combination of C++, Python and JavaScript are some languages that have all influenced Solidity, which is used to write the smart contract for Celo dApps and any EVM compatible blockchain. So yeah, so let me share the link that we'll be using for limits and Solidity, so that you can access limits IDE on your browser, and it's yeah. So those are the two tools that today we are gonna focus on, and later on we'll be able to focus on the other 8, and yeah. So hope you will enjoy. So that is the link to the IDE.
Hi, Jordan. I'm having version 0.817. Is that okay?
Limits IDE or the Pragma?
Yeah, I'm saying my version is version 0. Unlike the version you posted, the
Yes.
version you posted is version 0.6.6. Is that okay?
Okay, it's okay if you can see the same thing I'm seeing.
Yeah, yes.
Okay, awesome. So give me a minute. Okay, so as you can see, we have I hope you guys have been able to open up the limits IDE. Yeah. Can we confirm on the chat? So I want to know Obina has opened up the IDE. Anybody have in challenge? Okay, opened. Another one. Another one. I hope you guys have been able to open up. Okay, good to go. Okay, awesome. So we are ready. We are ready. So I'm gonna take you through the interface, how it looks like, and how to explore and everything. So here we have the plugins. So here we have the plugins, and then we have and here we have more. So we have LearnerNet. So if you click on the LearnerNet, you will be able to see a lot of like the remit basics. So if you click on the LearnerNet, then you will be able to see the basics. So that has that has the basics for limits. Start tutorial and finish a lesson on remits IDE. So you can do that on your free time. And then we have home. So we have a default workspace. So most of you will have a default workspace with smart contracts that have been initialized. And then we have the edit for renaming, creating a new file, deleting, and either downloading the workspace or uploading a new workspace. Here we have a Git. You can save your code to GitHub, and then you can be able to upload. Then here we have the workspace. Here we have the search, and here we have the Solidity compiler, and here we have the deploying, the interface for deploying smart contracts. So then, since we are going to use Solidity, if you click on more, you can be able to find more plugins there. This one is for renting your smart contract code. And then here we have the resources and the channels that you can also be able to join. So my mouse is giving me some trouble. So we have a place where you can be able to create a new contract, create a new folder, publish all this content to GitHub, and also download or load a local current workspace onto our place. So we're gonna start a new file. So normally we're gonna call it just simple.sol. So SOL is the extension for every smart contract, short form for Solidity. And there we have our new file. So you should have something like this. Then we have, so Solidity, when you create the first file, the file, you will need to set up your Solidity file. After being able to go through that, then you need to set up a few things. So you need to first, so for every smart contract, you need to set up a license. So normally I set SPDX. This is how you set up your license. SPDX / license. And identifier. Identifier. So, you know, we normally have different types of licenses. We have MIT, Apache, and these different licenses mean different when you have them. So one will be inputting that somebody to use the code under their own list. The other one will be use the license. You can use this code freely without any benefit that you are looking for. So we have open and open source and yeah. So then then you have to set the Solidity version that you want to use. So setting up the Solidity version that you want to use, we have a keyword that is pragma Solidity. Normally it's either greater or equals to, so I normally set multiple. So if you go to the Solidity compiler version, you'll find that we have a lot of versions. So like the way we have different versions of Android Studios, and not Android Studio, but Android versions. We have Lollipop, Jelly Bean, and I don't know the latest version. So we have different versions. And when you are creating an Android application, you need to like select like 100, the one that covers 100% all the number of phones which are outside there. So you don't know which kind of a phone the user is using or which version of Android the user is using. So you have to select multiple Android OS. So the same for Solidity. So to be on a safer side, we select a range of Solidity version. So we select a range of Solidity version, mainly from either the lowest, the latest to the new, the latest to the oldest. So from the oldest to the latest. So like this. So we'll have 0 either 7 or 6, but I'm going to go with 6, and then less than 0 0.9.0. And then remember to put in a semicolon. So yeah, like that. So we should be good. Then from that, after doing that, you need to so once you have set the pragma, you need to create the name, the name of your smart contract. So you will define your contract with a keyword contract. So that is contract, simple. Contract simple. And there we have it. So that is, now we have been able to define our contract, which is simple contract. And we can now be able to define or declare our variables. So we have different data types and data types, all data types in Solidity. We have normally the same that we find in every programming language. We have string, we have Boolean, which is normally true or false. String is a character. We have integer. We have uint, which is an assigned integer. And then we have let's just define them. So we have the first one is string, which can be public. So we have a keyword public. So if you want a variable to be seen and to be used, you have to make it public. So we have string public product. Let's say we want to have a string that stores a product name. So we call it product name. And then we can call it burger. So we have that as a product name. So remember to put a semicolon. So we have our string. We have int. So we have integers, and they normally start from 8. So they normally start from 8. We have uint. From the smallest one is 8 to 256. And you will be able to see the difference. So you'll be able to see the difference why we have that. So this one you can call by default it's 256. It can also be public, but we're gonna call it price. It can be just 100. Yeah. So we have int price, which is 100. Yeah. Then we can have. So let's just first of all work with that. The two. Yeah. So for every programming language, we have what we call delete, update. It's the CRUD: create, read, update, and delete. So for blockchain, we don't have that. We have read and write. We only have read and write. So you can only create and read only. So you can only write and and read only. So the reason why smart contracts are like that is that we want people to create records that are not deletable so that they can be future proof that this is what. Remember, blockchain is transparent, and we are creating something that we want people. So if you write a comment, you don't have to like edit that comment. We want transactions to be immutable. We want them not to be deleted, because remember, this chain of transactions that are linking together, we don't want people to say that, oh, my transaction that I did the other day was deleted from the system and I can't be able to find it, and we want proof. So you can only be able to read and write. So that's why we only have getters and setters. So we're gonna create a function called, you can call it create product or write product. So I'm gonna use create product. Doesn't matter how you name your function, so long as you know, and the other programmer will be able to know what you meant with that function. So we have function write product, and inside the function, we can set in parameters. We can set string memory. So string, which is a memory. So this is also a keyword in Solidity. And then, so parameters in a functions, in a function, in all Solidity, they have a different naming. They have a different naming. They have a different naming so that you can be able to differentiate. So we have product name. So people who have worked with Python, they know we have the camel case, and we also have the snake case for naming functions and variables. So for parameters in a function in Solidity, they normally go with an underscore. So they start with an underscore. So like product name, so that we can be able to differentiate the first variable and the one we are passing. And then the function should be public. So we'll do one which is public and one which is not public. So it should be public. And then now we have the curly braces where your logic now goes in. So we want the function to kind of update the bagger and change the name and update the name to a different product. So we'll have product name, which will equals to the new parameter, and then don't forget a semicolon. So we have the Pragma Solidity, we have our contract name, we have defined a variable, we have a function, and maybe we want to deploy and be able to see how we want to be able to interact with the function. So from this side, we have the Solidity compiler, where we have the Solidity compiler. As you can see, the compiler was able to select a range from what we gave, we wrote on our Pragma as our range. So it was able to find a suitable one for us. And then we have the language that we are using. So we have Solidity and Viper. And then we have the EVM version. So there are different EVM versions that are available. We have Benzenite, Constantinople. So Constantinople was deployed or created in 2020. Yeah. Then we have autocompiler, which is already selected. And then we have optimization. We have the compile the smart contract. So it's automatically selected. So if you have different files of Solidity or smart contracts that you have created, then you will have to like select that new file. So then we have the deploy and learn your transaction. So we have JavaScript, which is the environment that you are learning on. And then we have an account. So every time you are deploying or creating a smart contract, you're generally given a test ethers or test Celo. I'm going to show you later or right now after we deploy with Ethereum, how to deploy on Celo also. So we have the addresses. So there are 100 addresses fully funded with test ethers for you to deploy and test your smart contract. So they are 100 so that you can be able to test with them. Then we have the gas limit, we have the value, and then we have the contract we want to deploy. So you can hit the button deploy. And then below here, under our terminal, you'll be able, there is a terminal here, the Remits IDE terminal. And you can see that there is a transaction that has been created, which is a contract deployment transaction. So every time you're deploying a contract, you need to have Celo or Ethers to deploy your smart contract to different blockchain. Remember, EVM compatible blockchain. You need to have Ethers. And as you can see, we have they have been like used. They have been used so that we can be able to deploy the contract. So the contract has been deployed here within the Remit IDE, and we have our function. So we have, since we made the product name to be public, we made the public name to be public. So that's why you can be able to see public or the product. So if I click on the product, we'll have the name burger here, but we don't have the price because we didn't make it public. So we're gonna deploy and see another one with a public function and public variables. Yes.
Hey, Jordan, sorry.
Yes, Newton.
Sorry to cut you.
Okay.
I'm not able to see the deploy button on my end. I don't know.
Okay.
Compile.
Okay, there should be an icon like this one below the deploy, the Solidity compiler. Yes. So below the Solidity compiler, there should be a button. So click on that, deploy and learn transaction.
Yeah, I've clicked it. So down there it's saying no compiled contracts. At the part it's saying deploy.
Have you opened the contract? Have you opened the contract? Hello?
I'm having the same challenge too. I opened the contract and it's saying no compiled contract or add address, load contract from address. So yeah, I'm having the same challenge as him. Thank you.
Okay. So first of all, you have okay. So you should have is it visible under Solidity compiler? Is it visible here where we have the compile dot simple? Yeah.
Under compiler configuration,
yes,
is the auto compile, enable optimization, hide warnings.
Okay.
On your screen, you've checked auto compile.
Yes, I've checked auto-compile. Also, make sure that you are Pragma Solidity and the compiler version that we were declaring. Make sure that it's not a double equals. It should be greater or equals to 0.7.
I'm having a parser error expected. I'm having a parser error. I don't know what that is.
Maybe you can share on the chat. You can share on the chat. Share on the chat the error you. Yes, I declared in it, but I haven't used it. And I also didn't make it public so that you can be able to see. There are certain aspects that of your smart contract you want people to view, and there are other functions that you don't want people to view. So yeah. So you can share your error on the chat. You can share your error on the chat. Okay, so make sure, let me share the pragma on the chat, how it should be like. So pragma solidity should be like that.
How do I share my screenshot on the chat?
Do you have a sniping tool?
Do I have what?
Okay. You see here below here we have the one in part. Oh, I've seen a screenshot of Newton.
Okay, probably I will send it to your WhatsApp.
Okay. Newton, you'll need to add an equals, and it's, you just copy the line that I've shared for pragma, the line that I've shared for pragma.
I just shared mine also.
Okay. So for you, Newton, you can copy the line that I've shared on the chat. That should solve your error. So it's on line 3. So your error is on line 3.
Okay, I've seen it. I should have an equal sign.
Yeah, you should have an equal sign, and the space between solidity and the greater, yeah, and the greater. Okay, so Christine, it's still loading. So probably maybe you have.
I have shared mine. Have you looked at it, please? Thank you.
Okay, let me look at it. Could you share it again? Kindly share it again. Okay, I've seen it.
I sent it to your WhatsApp. I sent it to your WhatsApp.
So yours is you have 0.0.0, so it should be 0.9.0. It's your pragma is, you have written pragma 0.0.0 instead of so also copy the one that the line that I've pasted. So it should be pragma solidity greater or equals to 0.7.0 and less than 0.9.0. So for Christine, I think you have probably your internet is not stable. Probably your internet is not stable. So in future, we'll be able to use VS Code for local development, so that you realize that limits really need a lot of internet to develop. And if you're a developer, so you realize that limits is using is a browser IDE, and it uses internet. So on future webinars and workshop, we'll be able to set up a local environment using VS Code and using Truffle and Hard Hat for smart contract development. So, okay. Line 1 is a warning, so don't worry about line 1. Line 1 is a warning. It's just a warning. So product name. Could you let me show you? So if you want to learn more about
Pragma line 3 is showing me a warning. What does that mean?
So if you want to know the error, or to learn more about the error you're learning, it should be down here below. So you see there is a warning. So here we have a warning, and if let me maybe remove a semicolon, and then you see we have like a pass error, expected a semicolon, but only got a curly brace, So that means I have to go and lead the line that has an issue. So sometimes it would be showing line 13, but line 13 does not have an issue. So the issue is in line 12. So I have to be very key, or you have to be very open when you are writing the code. So check the error that you're getting. So if I remove another bracket, it will have the same issue. It's going to show, it's not going to like completely compile the code. So it should be that. So if we have the semicolon there and then there. So then you can check if your product name is listed differently. So maybe you have misspelled a variable. So make sure the variable, or you have declared a variable that is in a function that is not even declared. So you're using a variable that has not been declared. So make sure it's declared. So for the warning, I forgot to add MIT. So it's supposed to be MIT. So we are going to use MIT as our license, but still it's showing some issues, or warning not, but the contract will run. So warning don't really prevent you from compiling the code, but errors do. So make sure that you have your variables defined, and the way you have defined them, make sure you are using them the way you have defined them. Yeah. So machines are very okay. Awesome. So we are good now. So is there anybody else who has an issue? We can move on, because we only have like 10 minutes. Yes.
I have a question.
Yeah.
If you go back to, should I call it the workspace? Go back to the file up there where this file are
the smart contract file.
Yes.
Yeah.
I want to know what exactly are you doing? Like, if you start a new project, because I clicked to start a new file, and it gave me, it opened a lot of things, contract, test, script. So I don't know where exactly to put that test file, the simple.sol.
Okay. So let's go back
Yeah,
to file. Okay. Yeah. So I see what. So we have all these contracts, all these scripts. So if you want to organize your work clearly, so as you can see, I normally don't like pulling, because I don't use most of the time. I'm not using limits IDE, but when I use it because it's a lot easier or faster to develop on it, because I'll be able to get exactly where the error is once I've created the smart contract locally. So if you want to organize your work, so you can create a new file, a new folder here. So here you can create a new folder, and then name it webinar. Yeah, and name it webinar. So if you have the folder webinar, then now you can create new, and it will be under the webinar. So it will be under the webinar. So we can have simple.sol like that. Yeah. So you'll have the webinar, and then simple.sol. And then these artifacts are the JSON. So in later on, since we're going to continue with these webinars and sessions and bootcamp, we'll be able to learn JSON, this JSON or JSON ABIs. So sometimes they are called artifacts, sometimes ABIs. So we'll be able to see how the role they play in smart contract development when you're consuming, when you want to use the smart contract for front-end development. So there are different ways for those people who have used or are used to creating APIs. They write APIs maybe in Python or Node.js or PHP, but the endpoints are normally in form of the endpoints produce JSON format data, or XML format data, which is used by front-end developers to be able to wire up the application with a different framework. So let's say you are creating a Node.js application or a man stack application. So we have Mongo, Express, React, and Node. So you have created your APIs with Express and Node, and your database is MongoDB. And then we have React as your front end. So the output that the developer or the backend developer will be giving you, or the endpoints, will be normally in terms of JSON format, so that they can be able to be used by React front-end developer. Then we have XML. We also have GraphQL, which is a way for you to be able to do that. So these artifacts, will be able to learn more about them in later webinars and workshop. Yes, Jamal. Hazard, have you been able to create the folder and
Yes. Now,
okay.
I just wanted to know if it's independent of those other files, like the way you created a new folder and created the what is it called? The sample.sol.
Mhm.
If it's independent of the other files, then
Yeah,
my last
yeah,
question
yeah,
is how
yeah.
will I probably put this work on GitHub?
It's
to show that
completely,
yeah.
yes.
No, I'm saying if it's independent of those files that we found there, then basically it's just how to share this work on GitHub, even if it's
Yeah.
still incomplete, if possible.
Okay, so these files, you can actually delete them. You can actually delete them or create a new workspace. So if you create a new workspace, so let's say we created another workspace called Celo webinars. So we have a new workplace that has actually come up with has the same contracts. So generally, when you create or when you do trafo init over, you do trafo init, that is the creating a new smart contract project or a new smart contract project. It comes with contracts and tests and also scripts. It comes with, it's a boilerplate that comes with this. So these are deployment scripts. So deployment scripts are the scripts that helps you to deploy your contract to a blockchain. So these are scripts, then these are tests. So these are tests normally written in either chai or others for you to do the testing. And then we have the contracts. So this new workspace that we have, we can delete these ones. We can delete this. Let me just hold shift. And then we can delete like that. So, okay. Okay, actually, we have deleted like the entire workspace. So we have this, we can delete that smart contract. So right click and then delete. And then, okay, you can delete all those smart contract and then create a fresh, or you can even delete the entire file. That. It like that. So we have an empty workspace now with just a lead me. So that one you can also be able to delete it. And then now we have the workspace, and then we'll have a new folder or a new file. Yeah, we'll have a new folder and call it contracts. So this is how you organize your files. The way we have middlewares, we have controllers, we have models. So the MVC, so model, controllers, and view. So for smart contract, we have contracts, scripts, and tests. You have contracts, scripts, and tests. So you can have all the contracts will reside there. All the deployment scripts will be under scripts, and all the testing that you will have will be in the tests. All the testing that you will do for the smart contract will be in the test. So I hope you know about MVC, which is the model view controller. So when you're creating APIs, you need to have controllers, models, and views. Then, yeah, so that's that. I hope I've answered your question.
Yeah. Now, just now how you use GitHub.
So how let's just first of all complete the deployment for simple, and then we do the saving to or publishing to GitHub. Okay. Okay, so yeah, so we are good on the part of where we had issues. I'll do the publishing to GitHub data as we first of all, because I think we have like extra 5 minutes. So we have the Solidity compiler here. So we have these ones which are, if you are creating a smart contract that will be interacting with IPFS and Swarm, and also these are the compilation details. So the compilation details are below here. You can be able to see the warning and errors that your smart contract has. Then we have deployment. So the first deployment that we have done is deployment on Ethereum. And we were able to see, so let me deploy again. So we were able to see the transaction, the coins that were used, and the coins that were used from this address. And we have, we should have the contract address. Yeah, so this is the contract address here. So we have the contract address here. And if we expand, we can now be able to see these functions. So we can be able to see the things that we have set to be public, but we cannot be able to see the price, the price, the init price that we haven't been declared. So we haven't declared. We have declared it, but we haven't made it public. So if I click on the product name, we'll have burger. But if we want to change the name now, we need to click to expand on the create product, and then we can now put on burger 2, and then we can do the transaction. So every time that so we have burger 2. So every time you're doing a transaction, you are adding something on blockchain, you are doing a transaction. So this is a way that you can be able. So this way we can be able to make sure that now imagine Twitter imagine Twitter using blockchain, and you are using your coins to post something that is not educative or something that is not as much as we want to have freedom of speech and such. Now imagine Twitter, we can be able, using blockchain, we can be able to limit people from posting things that are not relevant and posting things that are really interesting and which are making life much better, because sometimes there are people who post things which are not, they go to an extent. Yeah. So every transaction in every action in blockchain, you have to do a transaction. You have to do, you have to pay for it. So we're gonna do the transaction, and then here we have a transaction. So there take note of these things that we have, because we're gonna be able to expand more about it in the bootcamp and also in the coming webinar. Take note of transaction hash. Take note of transaction costs, execution cost, and the decoded input. So here we have string product, because we're gonna be able, especially the transaction hash. So take note of the transaction hash, and as we finish up on the today's webinar, we will be able to talk more about the transaction hash and what role does it play on the blockchain and in transaction. Yeah. So we have updated the product name to Burger 2. So if we click, we should have Burger with a product 2. So you notice that we only have Burger 2, but if we do call it again, we only have, we still have Burger 2 because we have updated it. But we want to have this product. So there is something called struct. That's where I'm gonna leave my smart contract at. We have struct, which is kind of you can think of a struct as a table. You can think of it as a model in a database. Yeah. Whereby we have struct product. So we're gonna call it product. Product. Yeah, product struct. And then here now we can be able to kind of declare the names or the variables the same way we declare table names. Is it table names? And then we have the fields that we want to be on a table. So I'm gonna leave it there at struct. So we going to have more discussion on the struct, because I see that time is far away gone. So we're gonna discuss more about struct and how to create one, and how to be able now to update it, update the struct, and then how to get that data from that. So we have only talked about setters. So we've done a setter, and then we have done we haven't done a getter function. So using the struct, we'll be able to use the getter function, and we'll be able to do that. So yeah, so struct, that one will be kind of more on how you can be able to, or how you do your research, and then maybe we can on the group. So we have Telegram group, whereby we can be able to chat more. We have Telegram group where we can chat more, and we also have WhatsApp group. Yeah, WhatsApp group where we can also be able to chat more about smart contract development and that. So yeah, so then let me remove the public, and then you see what I meant by the function not being public. So give me it should be Fabric view. Okay. Okay, let's just leave the function fabric, but the product not fabric. So we can delete, we can remove this one and then deploy again, and then you see the difference. So right now we only have the function. So we only have the function and we can only be able to update it. We can only be able to update, but we cannot be able to view. So we will not be able to view whether we have been able to update, but we'll see a transaction. So below here, we'll see a transaction. So we'll have burger 2 and then transaction. So we have a transaction here. So we have been able to update. But since we don't have the product being fabric, we cannot be able to view. So those are some of the functions that, So those are some of the keywords, data types, and views. So we've done a lot. So we have done a lot on that. Lastly, I don't want Hazard to, let me do the deployment on GitHub. So you can create a public gist on. So you can create a public gist on your GitHub. Yeah. So you just click on create, and then click OK. So first of all, you need to have, yes.
Jona malimesinya ikakuja create public git.
Okay. So first of all, you need to go to the minute create, click. You need to give permission to your GitHub. So you need to give permission to your GitHub. So it's normally under settings. So GitHub. So you need to go to your GitHub and then settings. Then it should be under security. I think it's security. Should be under security, I think. Okay. SSH. Should be okay. I don't want to generate another token. I don't want to generate another token. I don't want to generate another token. Okay, I don't want to generate another token because it's supposed to be under generating token. So you can um, you can go to your GitHub and then I think either under SSH and keys, you need to select the type of permission that you want your token to has, so that it has access, so that Remit has access to your GitHub account. So when you create a gist, you will be able to now save it under your GitHub. Yeah. But later on, we'll be able to do that. And yeah. So unfortunately, because of time, we haven't been able to do front end. And from your responses, most of us are new to most of us are new to smart contract development. So I try to make the tutorial as simple as possible. I had a complex tutorial, but I tried to make it more simple and easy for people who are starting into smart contract development and getting into blockchain to understand. So yeah, I'll share the Charles, could you share the Telegram link for those who are not part? Yeah.
I've just shared it on the chat. So
okay.
Hi guys. So if anyone wants to join the community, the link is on chat. You can just click on the link. It will redirect you to the Telegram group. Then join the community and let's make it interactive. If you have a question, please feel free to raise it on the community. If you have a concern, if you have any material that you feel will help another developer, please feel free to share with the community. Yeah.
Awesome. Also, there is also a Discord channel for what do you call it? Let me just get it. Discord. Okay, once you join the Telegram link, we'll share the Discord group for the Celo, the global community, where you can also be able to join. We'll also be having developer office hours. So if you have a smart contract and you feel like you want to be helped or mentored to learn more about smart contract, you can always chat on the group, say that you have a bug or you have an issue or you have something that you want to share with the group. The community is always we are always there and willing to help. If you have a project that you want to build on Celo blockchain, you can be able to build it, and then we will share when Celo bootcamp and Celo hackathons, when they open up and when we have them, so that you can be able to share your idea and be able to make your project a reality. So most of the companies right now in Africa, from Kanza to Paychant. So Paychant, Kanza, Paychant, are a product of Celo Bootcamp. We also have Kotani. We also have Impact Market. We have Good Ghosting. A lot of these companies that we are talking about, which are in Web3, are products of bootcamps. So if you have an idea, don't shy away. Your idea will and can create employment opportunity. So there are different companies. The ones that I've mentioned, I think Good Ghosting. They have. I'll share the link for some of the job opportunities that are available on the community. which are available on the community. Yeah. Yeah, so Charles has also mentioned that you can also join code jams and challenges to practice and showcase your Web3 skills for incentives. And yeah, you can register through that link. Yeah, I'll share the companies that I've mentioned. Yeah, so if you're also an investor and or a person who already has an idea, you can pitch your idea to those companies and see whether you can be able to be part of them. Yeah. So let's grow. And let's build Africa. Yeah. So thank you guys for joining. Hope you enjoyed the session and hope you learned something new. Yeah. Thank you. Bye.
All right, thanks for joining in, guys. Bye.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah, yes, you can. You can.
This sounds so interesting, and thank you so much for your time. I actually appreciate it. And also, you were talking about great opportunity out there, which I believe, if I'm the only one, but I think there are a couple of people here also, that this is their first time interacting with blockchain-based system or platform or anything. I would love if we can have, if there will be a chance for physical training or a physical tutorial, because there is so much barrier when it comes to network in terms of a long thing. So I don't know if there is this chance for one